I am Tiffany from Eat at Home, eathomecooks.com, and this is Meredith, my oldest daughter. She is about to be married in less than a month, and so I'm going to teach her how to do the slow cooker freezer meals today because I think that might be really useful. Of course, when you do them, you'll cut the recipes in half and maybe still get 2 meals out of the half because there's just 2 of you, and you'll use a much smaller crock pot. Otherwise, it's all pretty much the same. I've spent about 1 hour preparing these meals to get it to this point, and these are all part of the Eat at Home weekly meal plans for May. You can find out more about those if you go to eathomecooks.com and look for the button that says weekly meal plans. So let's get started here. I shopped yesterday with my list. I don't know if you can see, well, not too good. It's color-coded, so I actually swapped out one meal for the pulled pork and gravy sandwiches because I already had one of those in the freezer that somehow got slid to the bottom, and I found that yesterday. So I'm not making that. We'll start with the sloppy slow cook tacos, and that gets chicken tenders. You'll put a lot less chicken tenders in yours.
Okay.
And just dump in a can of tomato sauce and a can of salsa verde, like that, and taco seasoning. And I'll let you zip that closed and then just give the bag a shake, and that one is done. Meredith isn't a big meat eater, but I think her husband-to-be is going to be, so they're going to have to find some balance in that. Our next recipe is round steak with vegetable gravy. This one might be good for you because you can still have the veggies, and you can make a baked potato with it, and he can eat the meat.
Okay.
So, this gets celery, carrots, green pepper. I've already chopped all of that. So we just dump it in with the round steak. And then it also gets a tablespoon of vinegar. And a half a cup of ketchup. I'm not going to measure the ketchup. You can just sort of estimate. A great big squirt, it's about half a cup. Some things require measuring, some not so much. Then this also gets a couple tablespoons of flour and a half a cup of water that you shake together and add to the end to thicken it. Just put all those ingredients or instructions on the bag when I labeled it. So you can shake that up a little bit for us, and it is done. Next, let's do the ravioli. This one I think is going to be one of Meredith's favorites.
Yes.
Crock pot ravioli. It does have a bit of a homemade sauce. So we've bought the already prepped ravioli. I have 2 bags of ravioli here. You'll only need 1. And again, you maybe can get 2 meals out of 1 bag since there's just 2 of you. Then to the onion and garlic and spices that I've already added in here, we've got a can of crushed tomatoes, and then a little can of tomato paste. Okay, I'll let you stir that up. It doesn't have to be real good and stirred, because we can squish it in the bag and it'll cook down and that becomes fine. You want to pour it, and I'll hold the bag. Alright. And that gets zipped closed and labeled. And then you can add a cup of shredded mozzarella cheese to this, to the top at the end of the cooking time. I've added that instruction to the bag. But if you don't have mozzarella or you forget or whatever, it's not a big deal. I do want to kind of get all these raviolis coated in sauce so that they don't stick to each other. one only cooks for about 3 or 4 hours on low. So it's a good one if you come home at lunchtime or you're just kind of around. It's not one to put in the crock pot and leave it cooking all day because you will come back to something that's probably not very edible. Okay, next is seasoned salt chicken. This is a good one. You like chicken, so this is a good one for you. And I've already measured all of the spices and put some olive oil and kosher salt and mixed all of that up. It looked a little dry to me when I first did it, so I added more oil. Never be afraid to tweak the recipe to make it what you need it to be. In baking, sometimes things need to be more exact, but in cooking, you can make it be what you want. And so then this gets sealed up, and then we just try to squish that together. That's making a big sound though, so we'll save that till later. But so that all the spices coat the chicken. That one's really yummy. So there's that. And I think we are down to the last one here, which is pulled pork. Now the recipe for this has you cook the pork overnight in the crock pot, then shred it, then put the sauce ingredients in. I've decided to consolidate that step. So I'm going to take the pork roast and go ahead and add all of the sauce ingredients, let it cook all together, and then shred it. It'll work just fine. It makes it a lot faster. So to this, I've got some onion and some of the seasonings that the recipe called for. I've already measured those. So put that in there. And then I'm going to have to get my recipe here because I can't remember exactly. This one has 1 to 2 cups of ketchup or barbecue sauce. Again, I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to... I've got some barbecue and some ketchup. You can do any combination that works for you. This is a great one for a crowd. It's also a really good one for if you want to have individual meals or lunch. If you freeze this in small quantities, and then Stephen can come in from work and have a barbecue sandwich, he'll probably be very happy. Even though you probably will never eat a barbecue sandwich. No. That's okay. This also gets 8 ounces of taco sauce. This is a 16-ounce bottle, and part of it's gone. So we're just going to, that looks about like 8 ounces. Really, you're not going to ruin this one. Just do what looks good there. What did I do with my recipe here? This one gets 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, which I'm not even sure if I have. I've got close to 2 tablespoons left here. Well, it gets what was left in the bottle, and again, that's perfectly fine. And a little bit of liquid smoke to give it that smoky flavor, but for this, you do want to measure. Going overboard with the liquid smoke would be not a good thing. So, and you can leave this out too if you don't have any. And that's that. This is one of my favorite meals. It's great for a family. And we squish that around and we're good to go. So I've done 5 meals. The 6th meal is just pork chops and gravy and a little bit of thyme. It's super easy. So you can get all of that ready for the freezer in just 1 hour, and you'll have meals for a week or maybe more. You can find out more at eatathomecooks.com. Just click the weekly meal plans button. Thank you.